Hello, I am Kathy Freeman. Welcome to this meeting. I'm actually having to record this a second time because we had a wonderful live actually, but I couldn't figure out with the system I was using how to get that recording back. So I'm back and I'm going to share with you what we covered, minus the wonderful women that showed up. I want to thank them for being there, and we got to visit afterwards. That's what I love the most about these events, is being able to get to know you personally, to find out where you live, to understand a little bit about your life and what's going on with you. Now, this event is dear and near to my heart. I have worked with positive counseling coaching for the last 20, I want to say 22 years, 22 years. And just a little side note, so you understand where I'm coming from with this. And I'm going to just give a disclaimer right at the first, because when I talk about things that are personal to me, sometimes I am very sentimental about them, or whatever emotional my emotions are up, I will end up tearing up. So I apologize. I don't mean to make anyone uncomfortable, but our oldest daughter, passed away. She was killed in a car accident when she was 17 years old. And right before that, I, as a young mom, had gone through, 6 children, raising children, all the chaos, all the wonderful times. And I found that I would get stressed out. And when I'd get stressed out, I would get irritable. So as I was progressing as a mom and working, you're always trying to improve yourself. And I think that's important. And I was trying to figure out, what do I need to be able to manage and not get so stressed out over things all the time, and be able to kind of navigate life a little bit easier. I mean, I'm a happy person. I'm a joyful person. But when too much hits me, then it was overwhelming. And in my journeys and learnings, etc., I actually went to Cooper Institute, which is an athletic institute, well known in the world for personal training, as far as the body and what the body needed. But I loved that, and that was great. But I wanted to focus more on the mind, and so I went into some training that dealt with how to deal with our perceptions, and how to control, and how to release and get rid of those things that are not helping us. If we I found that my mind, and I became more aware of these things as as I had children and I started helping them with their struggles. I was like, oh, I can see this is, this is kind of what I've been dealing with. My mind loops. Okay, I'm a little obsessive compulsive as far as the way my brain will think on certain things. And so it's so wonderful to be able to improve. So I worked with clients for many years, and as I was doing that, I developed a system that I could coach with them and help them quickly to be able to release and clear perceptions that were really bogging them down, that were causing a lot of stress or grief or whatever in their life. And as they were wanting to make changes, and these were more like physical changes, stop smoking, or they were going through grief, a period of grief, losing someone, or just different things like that. It always went back to how we were managing the perception of what it is that we're facing, and how we're being able to control that. And I am a very religious person, and so I depend a lot upon God, and I will speak about that periodically throughout this. And so if that is not a belief system of yours, I want to say right up front, translate it into what your belief system is. All right. And what fits best for you. I'm not here to preach to you. I'm here to share something that I feel was divinely given to me, that he shared with me. Because it was 6 months. I went through training a couple of years of this. And then 6 months before that accident with my daughter, I opened up my office for the first time. And here comes the tears. I apologize. I am so grateful for that, because going through that period of time that was so traumatic for our family, I was given the tools that not only helped me, but helped my family through it. And I'm just very grateful for it. And I've had a desire, excuse me, just a second. I've had a desire for very long to merge these two loves that I've had in my life. One of the creativity, my art. I always turned to my art over the years when I was going through grieving, when I was dealing with changes, when I was trying to, I would turn to that because it's a wonderful tool to be able to express ourselves into um we don't have to consciously think we're working through something, but our mind does. It just releases, and it helps. It actually lets go of chemicals in our body that's so good for us, that makes us feel good, and it gives us an opportunity to focus on something other than what's out here that's bugging us or causing fear in our life. Art is a powerful tool, and if it's something that you are interested in or that you already know and you love, but you're not utilizing it, please, if nothing else you get out of this, may this be an encouragement and a springboard for you to start that routine in your life and today and start enjoying that. Anyway, I loved my art and I loved this other area. I loved working with women and helping them to just be able to manage things in their life that had become so overwhelming and so complicated, and to be able to see the growth and the peace that it brought. And I thank our Heavenly Father daily for this tool, the ability to understand and to see and hear and understand perceptions, and then how to be able to navigate and change those so that we're open to being able to, as I would say, hear the Spirit, be able to receive guidance. If my mind is looping over a fear and a worry, a concern over a child or a concern over something in life, and I am too worried about that, I can't hear as well. I do hear, but I don't hear the Spirit as well as I could if I'm able to just relax and let myself receive those information. And to be able to relax, you've got to be able to change that perception first and say, okay, we're cleaning out the closet here, girls, and we're going to get organized. All right. So welcome. And that's my introduction to this. I hope that what I will be sharing with you gives you the prompting to be able to start a routine in your life that propels you to be able to live the best life you possibly can. And not only just live it, but to be able to share it and be a joy to other people. And that's why I decided to, I'm turning this into a community, into actually a group, an organization, not an organization, but a class that you can, I will talk to you about this later as I finish up my own ideas on it, but that you can participate in it if you're interested in. And so what I'm wanting for you to do is to experience bits and pieces of it and to kind of help me as I'm going along here and working on some of the things to be able to get some feedback or to see how things work. And that is what we're here for today. So you're a blessing to me. Thank you so much for partaking in this event and for showing interest in it. Now, let me start out with a little bit of housekeeping and just to kind of explain a few things to you. Number one, I wanted to make this as simple as possible. It's always a little confusing. Where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be doing? Whatever. And I wanted to keep it simple. And so as you see here, you see my little map. And that is a map that I created for my Art Sisters, which is my art membership that I teach. And this gives them a place that they can go to and easily find their classes. We have a spot on here where we meet and we go live and talk to each other. And it's just a wonderful space. I added a little building for this to this. And so anybody that's listening, that's a member of my Art Sisters, I want you to notice that down at the bottom is the event center. And the event center is where I am housing all of this information and where this will be located at. So you can easily get to this anytime by typing in myartsisters.com. It takes you directly to this page on my website, and then click on that little building, that little what you see right there, that little event center. Now I'm going to change to another page and see if this will actually share for me. Let's see. There we go. When you click on that, there we go. When you click on that page or on that, it'll give you a little green door, and you click on that door, and this is just the way it has to function. I know it's a little extra clicking, but it has to function that way so I can get you to the pages. All right. It's just the way the computer works. And I tell you, I am not a computer whiz, and the ability to put this together and what you're going to be going through is a very complicated process that God's simplified for me and impressed me and gave me ideas on how to do it. And so I am so grateful and just thrilled to be able to have this for you. So what you see here is actually this page. It just tells you, scroll down below this event lobby picture and click on the big doors below. So just scroll down and you're going to see these doors right here. These particular doors are your entrances into different areas of this event. Your main office, the red door, if you click on that, it will give you 2 videos that I prepared for you before this event, and a download that you can download there. And then other things as it goes along, if I need to, I will post in there information and whatever if we need it. The classroom is where we're meeting now, obviously. And so in here is where you'll come 12 o'clock Central Time for the next couple of days and be able to get the lessons in that there. I have a download in here for you today, a brand new one, and you can download that from there. This video library below here is where I will put the replays. And obviously that's where you're seeing this right now, because this is a replay. And so I will be posting those as I create these in our live meetings. I will also put in here a few other video classes of what I have done with my members, my art sisters in the past, and that I think will be enjoyable for you, and to just spark some ideas of what you can put into your creative journal. The creative reminders, I'll hit that in just a second. Moving on down, these 2 doors right here, the group chat and the community challenge, both lead you to the community center. The community center is what's brand new. And that's what I'm going to be adding to not only my art sisters, but also as a separate membership that will access the creative reminders. And this gives us the ability to talk and chat just similar to a lot of the social medias that we're used to, but without the distractions and without all the other negative stuff that comes with it. So there's actually this pink door directs you right into the group chat. Go in there, post some of the things that you're going on in your life. Let me get to know you, and let's communicate back and forth. This community challenge is fun. I love little fun challenges that, aren't overwhelming, but that are fun to do, like a little treasure hunt or a little something. But this community challenge, I'll post in here a few things that as you just click on it, you'll see it says join the challenge. It's simple things like introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Maybe post something and share it with someone else, just things like that. And you'll see that it will give you a little reward at the end. It's so fun to be able to share and do. All right. So let me go back here to my page and find another one that I want to share. So that's introducing you to everything you can get to very easily from the event center in this event lobby. All right. You won't have to worry, where am I supposed to be? What am I doing? If we're doing a live, we're in the classroom. If you want to talk and communicate with other people, don't be shy. Put yourself out there. Say hello. I've already seen a few people that have done it and told me just a few things. Don't be shy. Let's go ahead. We've only got a few days here while this is opened. And before I close it down and then turn it into the actual community that it's going to be from then on. Let's see. Let's move on over. If I can change to another page. Okay. Sorry, give me a second. Okay. This one here is the little door that says the creative reminders. When you click on that, it's going to bring you into the creative reminders journaling and library. And that's what this is all about. This particular event is for me sharing with you this technique that I developed and simplified so that it's easy for you to do. As you scroll down, you're going to notice here that entrance to the Creative Reminders library. If you will click on that, you have access to it right now. All right. And you can be able to get in there and start looking at some of the phrases and words. Now, all of this is copywritten. And so please don't be sharing it with your friends and family and whatever. But if they are interested, invite them to come. It's not too late to join in on this event and to be able to participate in it. I'm going to be, once we are finished with the classes on Friday, I'm going to keep it open over the weekend for you. And then Sunday at 10 o'clock Central, my time, I will shut everything down, close it all up, and get ready to kind of do a little housekeeping and open it up for anyone that wants to be members and to join the community and then be able to use the library and receive a monthly instruction from me. And that will be something I'll talk about at another time, another date. So this is important. Entrance to the Creative Reminders library. That is what you need. When you click on that, then you will go to this page right here. And it looks like this: Grow Joy, Creative Reminders Library. I named this process Grow Joy because I believe that joy is something we all want, but we have to work a little bit at it. And it's about a process of growing. And it's a process of pulling out the things, I call them weeds in our mind that are causing stress. Little situations that we think are not a big deal, but what they do is they combine together and then they create this enormous amount of stress in our mind, a little bit of havoc. It all happens in our subconscious. Typically, we're not consciously going around thinking about this. These are usually thoughts that are in our subconscious. And personally, that's what I would help when I was coaching and working with individuals, help them to discover, because a lot of times we didn't recognize them, what they were. I don't think at this point that it's important to know exactly what they are. Just know that if you're not feeling great, if you're feeling stressed out, if you're concerned, if you're worried, if you're upset, there's something going on. And all you need to do is be able to say, hey, I don't really like where I'm at right now. I would rather be in a different, feeling a little bit different. And then I'm going to give you a few journaling questions in this particular meeting that you can do on your own and that help you to be able to find what out is actually kind of going on a little bit. And then use this library to see what phrases, what words, what terms stick out to you. So let me just kind of walk you through it because this is important. I'll go over it more tomorrow in our next meeting. This here is a little graphic that I came up with because the Grow Joy creative journaling is a 3-step process. It's the first one is the reset, which is what we're going to work on today and talk about and share with you today. And then tomorrow is the refocus. And then the rediscover is when we start adding in some kind of an art or image or something that will help us to keep it forefront in our mind, what it is that we're actually wanting to refocus on. It's that simple. In here, I have the steps that tell you about it. The handouts I've given you, go over it. You've got it many places. This is what you're going to look for as you scroll down. This is most important right here. Creative Reminders Library. I have divided it into sections. Now, this library is huge. Over the 20 years I did it, I have over 1,000 statements in that. And I've gone back in the last half a year or so and kind of reworked it and revamped it so that it's a little bit more user friendly for individuals that I'm not personally coaching myself. And for this meeting, I've gone ahead and just opened a few of the sections to be able to make it easy for you and not overwhelming. Sometimes when we have a lot of information in front of us, it shuts us down because it's just too much to digest and we get confused and lost. So I've given these first 3 right here, and then I just shut down the other 4 through 6 that I already have that'll be part of the membership. And then I'm working on sections 7 through 11, and they'll be finished by this summer. Here is some examples of some that were put together that I created in the past and I just wanted you to see that they don't have to be complicated as far as the visual is concerned. And I'll talk more about that on Friday. It can be as complicated as you want or as little as you want. And we're going to kind of go over that. But I wanted to keep things so you saw that it can be really simple. And I love this one. I move forward in life with confidence. I know that with each step I take into the unknown, my path will be well lit by God's light. Love, love, love that one. If you are looking for what I'll have in this library also for the members is for quick relief. If they're just, you're automatically going, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Well, everything that's in this particular section, all these affirmations or whatever, these little ideas right here, I've given a few that deal specifically with like overwhelmed and can help to change that and give you a different refocus on something different. For moments when I am not recognizing my own worth, tell me that we don't feel that at times, that we don't feel invisible or that we don't feel unimportant to someone. There are those moments in all of our lives. And so I gathered a few of them that are throughout the library that's there. Look, anyway, you can look at this on your own and just see. And then I've got a little bit more explanation on it right here. So important. As you repeat these things over and over, it actually works on, like I said here, when you practice affirmations, particularly in a calm or meditative state, which is, what you're doing is you're writing, it can activate your parasympathetic. Sorry about that. I've got to mute my little computer there. The parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest part of the nervous system, this encourages relaxation. It reduces your heart rate and lowers levels of cortisol, which is the stress hormone, making it easier to cope with stress. I don't go into a lot of explanations about that in this particular meeting that we're doing, but years of research and understanding for myself how all that works made me realize that this is so important. So very, very important. All right, let me get back here. Find out there's our little, okay, stop sharing. There we go. All right, I'm back. Now, let me go ahead and see if I can do a full screen here. Yeah, fun. All right. I'm going to share with you just some ideas now of what you can put together to actually get started. Keep it simple. Keep it, I love to make it portable. That gives me the freedom to never be tied down to my desk or, a particular spot, because I am moving all the time around different places, grandkids, a different, whatever. Or I might like to go out into the sunshine when we have sun and enjoy it there. So make it portable. And I created myself a little packet. This is just an old Create 365 thing here that I had, and I wasn't using it. And I thought, perfect, I can put it all together. So your realize you don't have to have it look just like mine, but find yourself something that you can put together, a little pack for yourself. And I'm going to tell you what it is that you would, or I suggest as a minimal to get started. Number one, you'll need something to write in, some kind of a little journal or something that you can just scribble and write and whatever in. This is your thought book. This is what you're going to put all of your answer those questions. You know, those, I've got 3 questions on here for you to look at that you'll answer and ponder and think. And then as you go through and you go to the Creative Reminders library, and I'll talk about how to do that in a minute. When you go to that library and you start looking around at it, then you're able to have a place to write it down and scribble. And a lot of times when, you know, we're wanting to put it down in a piece of art or in a nice art journal of sorts, you know, it's, I don't know. I want it to always look a little bit nicer than just me scribbling something down. So anyway, that's why I suggest 2 different journals, 2 different things that you can use to be able to record your stuff. So that's the writing of the notes. I do have, for myself, I picked up 2 small journals at the art store. This one I love. It opens up. It's a Master's Touch, the art studio, and I've already started on it right here, and it gives me some nice watercolor paper so that I can do some heavier things on it and watercolor or do my mixed media, and then I can write. So what I chose to do and what I'm going to do with this book is this side of the book will have the affirmation, the create reminder on it, and then the other page will be my visual, my creative piece that I put in there to go with it. And that's how that book's going to run. This cutie, this little thing, I can actually tote around with me. It's different paper. It's more of a mixed media paper. It's heavier than than a sketchbook, but it's still very light. In this book, I'm still able to do a little bit of, like, this is tissue in here. I've got glued down. I've used some pastel acrylic pencils and some watercolor, just a little bit. Obviously, the paper won't take a lot of water in that, so you have to be careful. You might make yourself, like I kept, this is the label, and I thought, look, it makes such a wonderful little sleeve holder right here. And I can put in here, whoop, get on camera. I can put in here some of the art pieces that I do and create. So I decided to keep that on, and then I just painted it and covered it over it to decorate it up. The sky's the limit, and you get to choose what it is and how you want to do it. So some kind of an art journal. These are easy to get to. I've used these for years. You can pick up something even at Walmart and use, this is a mixed media, and I have in mine, I also have a watercolor one. So I bet if you look around your house, you've probably already got something right now that you can use without going out and buying something specific. Just make sure that you've got something to write on. So I've also got these little, I use these a lot to scribble my thoughts and that down. Got that together. And then just a minimal bit of art supplies. And so I wanted to contain those myself too, and came across this little wooden box. In it, I have placed in here, I've got this template. I wanted it because I could use the straight edge of it for making lines so that as I'm writing, I don't particularly love my handwriting all the time. And so I can kind of keep the straight lines and do that very careful as I'm doing that. I've got a small watercolor in here that I can use, an eraser, a sharpener, some brushes. I have right now, I have my pen set out, but I've got in here, I'm keeping a little pen. That's a nice permanent pen. And that way I can write things down and keep, do that. And then I've got a pencil, and that's all I've got in it. And so put yourself a little packet of something. I like to use watercolors because it's easier than pulling out all of the acrylic paints, and it's in this small container, and it's just easy to use. You might have something else that you love. And of course, some of my pages are going to be a little more complicated than just a quick little watercolor put on there. So create it, like I said, however you would like it. Let me put this all to the side now. All right, so I've covered here. I've covered what, how to put one together, what it's about. Let's go in now and start talking really quickly. I've given you the downloads, and you can pretty much read everything that I have to say here to you. And so I'm not going to sit here and read it to you or go over it, but I've described in these downloads what the 3-step process is. And it's a quick, simple process, but I still wanted to break it down because each section is very important. Your reset, which is what we're going to focus on today, is super important. All right. It's about creating that thought. It's about pausing and pondering and thinking and just giving yourself 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you have to do that. Tomorrow, when we meet, I'm going to talk about how, if you've got a busy schedule, a busy life, and you just can't seem to find the time to do things, how you can actually break this down into over the week so that you're just doing small little sections of it and not overwhelming yourself and not talking yourself out of it. Because anytime we start something new, it always takes, we have to repeat it. We've got to get ourselves used to it. We got to make it a habit for ourselves. And this is going to be one of those good habits that you create. All right. In the packet that I handed out today, it's right here. It looks just like this. It says, number 1, create the thought, pause and reflect. So this is really your reset stage. The reset stage is about stopping and saying, okay, it's time for a reset. Don't like what's happening here. Don't like how I'm feeling. I really don't like how I'm responding to the, situations. It's time for a reset. And that's what this first stage is. And so you give yourself a few minutes, and I don't necessarily myself have to sit down and write it all out. I can pretty much look at what I'm dealing with and what's creating that stress for me. And then I can go to the next step, which is looking into the Creative Reminders library and finding the new focus that I want, something that will help me to refocus and to change my thinking. I want to introduce the Creative Reminders library to you today. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, but I want to introduce it because you have access to it for a few days here. And you can find a few things that will be really helpful for you. So let me give you the journal prompts. You can start by beginning by reflecting on what area of your life you want to shift or improve. That's a pretty general question, but it is a good question. Another question on this other page, I've given you 2 others. It says 3 questions. What feelings or thoughts are holding me back from making this change? That's an important question, because a lot of times we can think, yeah, I really want to change this. But then there's always something over here that actually is talking to us in the background going, no, you don't. Because if you do that, then this is going to happen, and that's going to be blah, 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 blah. It's always talking to us. And so it's a good thing to write that down. What thoughts and feelings, when you think about what it is you're going to change, there's going to be a ripple effect. And so it's like asking yourself, well, what thoughts and feelings are holding me back from actually making this change? Because if it was super easy, we would do it. But there's always something back here that's napping at us, that's talking to us, and it's keeping us from actually changing. It's usually a resistance of some sort. It's a fear of something. It's always a limiting belief. All right. A limiting belief, a limiting belief is a perception that was created sometime in our life when a situation happened, and then we, because of that situation, made a judgment call over it. So then from then on, it's our mind says, when this happens, then I respond this way, or this is what I do, or this is how I feel, or this is what I think. And so it's always things that how we've navigated through our life, and those can be changed. Everything, people have all kinds of experiences growing up. And so this is a beautiful process of being able to go back through and reworking some of those, and just being able to really see what those perceptions are and change them, create a real positive change, which is the name of my website, besides Kathy Freeman Art, Real Positive Change. And that's the business name that I used for many years as I was doing the coaching in that. This third question that I have here is, what would my life look like if this area of my life were transformed, if it were changed, if it were different, if I felt different? Maybe the situation doesn't change, but I can change how I respond to it and how I'm feeling inside. And this is what helps us to create boundaries for ourselves. You've heard that word, I'm sure, many times. When people are doing things that, instead of pointing our fingers and saying, well, I wouldn't feel this way if you weren't doing that. That's a true statement, but at the same time, we always have the choice of how we respond and how we feel. I can't remember at this particular moment, but there's a gentleman that went through the Holocaust, and he talks a lot about that and the power that we have. And when we start submitting ourselves to what other people are doing or how, whatever, and saying that has control over us, we've lost that power. We always have the choice of how we feel inside. And you can look that quote up, or I'll find that and post that at a later date. But this is a great question, and it's something to ponder. And so that's why this process, even though it's simple and it's fast, it takes a little bit of thinking, and it's great because as you're going through the day and you're maybe driving to an appointment or something, it can kind of pop up and you can be thinking about that rather than focusing on that negative and just letting it stew in your mind. And, oh, I need to, this, I'm worried about that. You can move over here to this one and think to yourself, what would I look like? What would I feel like? How would I be living? How would I respond if I didn't have that? What would that be like, actually? So that's a really good and question to have, and that's a great question to sit and think about and to be constantly working on. Now, the next page I have for you is listing the 3 steps, and it breaks it down. And right now what we're working on is, like I said, that journaling prompt. And that's what today's assignment basically is to go through the journaling prompts. Pick yourself out something, go through that prompt. And I'm going to create a little challenge back in our community center over that. Did you go through your prompts? Did you figure out something? It doesn't have to be huge, okay? But it can be something. I've noticed, this is a side note. I am working on, as you age, your body changes. Oh my gosh, your body changes. And you're like, hello, what happened here? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? And I have found this one of my New Year's resolution is to not diet. I'm doing a different lifestyle on how I eat. And I'm choosing differently, and a whole little process I'm doing on that. But what's so cool about this is I'm recognizing that so much of my overeating or my snacking all comes from a stressed situation that I have in my life that's not going to go away. All right. One of my adult children is mentally ill and lives with us. And it is an experience that I can hardly explain. But with that experience, I recognize that a lot of my stress eating and the weight gain has been because of that and how I'm dealing with the situation. And so this is wonderful because they work hand in hand. If you've got a goal that you've set for yourself this year, this is a key factor of you accomplishing that goal. Being able to look at those perceptions and how you're dealing with things and making you more successful in how you want to achieve that goal for this year. All right, so let's jump in. I don't want to go too long here, but I want to jump into the Creative Reminders library for a second and take a look as you go in there. Let's see if I can share my screen again and find yourself a reminder. So you've already done your journaling, these few questions or one question or whatever. You've got an idea now in your mind of what you don't want, what you want to change, and you know you want it to be something different. Okay, maybe you're not even totally sure how that looks yet. That's fine. You don't need to know that, but you just need to be able to kind of get ready and be open to the change. And so you can go to the library and it'll give you ideas and suggestions on how to do that. Let me do a screen share here and find my Creative Reminders library here and scroll down. And let's pick a section right here for us. I put this one in here because of my situation, my own personal situation at home and caring for this individual. So that's where this section actually came from. And some of the affirmations in that I've come across, and then other wonderful ones. Some of them I've added scripture to it. So, or you just use the scripture as a wonderful affirmation, because these words are so powerful for me personally. But you've got a good variety in here, and whatever your belief system is, it will fit in here somewhere. All right. So don't tune it off. If you're not a person that has a religious belief or anything, don't shut it down, because you could always transform into what your belief system is and use it just as easily. All right, let me go back. Like, for example, we'll talk about this one here. I will not worry, for God provides for me just as he cares for the birds and the flowers. Such a simple affirmation. Something simple I can write down and keep in my journal, in my book, or even put it on a card so I carry it with me as I'm going somewhere. And then scripture, look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? So I added these just because I just wanted them for myself. And so it would make it easier for me to access. Let's go to this one right here. And I pulled this up earlier as I was actually going through the live with the group, and I was scrolling down, and this is what I encourage you to do with this. Scroll down and just, you'll know when you come across something, you'll see something and you'll go, oh, I'm kind of interested in that, and maybe if you read the whole thing and it doesn't fit, or you don't feel like it is, then continue scrolling and look again. But I have found most of the times, and it was interesting because I was sitting here giving this morning in our meeting, and where is it? Okay, it was this one, the U. I started running out of numbers. I didn't want to keep going large numbers, so I started using the alphabet and other things too. But anyway, I am fearless in sharing my ideas, knowing they are valuable and will benefit other women. I trust that the vision God has placed in my heart will empower and inspire others. I am excited to teach, to lead, and to make a positive difference, knowing that rejection or failure will never define me. And then there's a scripture verse that works there that will actually be powerful and helpful. I realized as I was starting this today, this has been a dream of mine. Like I said in the very beginning, over the last 6 years, as I've just thought about it, I didn't actually know how to make it come to pass. But as I kept walking the walk and just going along this little pathway, today I've actually arrived at where this is now coming to pass. And it's actually a thought that I had, a hope and a dream of being able to share this with other women to inspire and empower them, is actually coming to pass. And it's just exciting when that dawned on me that's what this is a monumental day for me. Let me just say that. So this one I'm going to record in my journal, and I'll be using this one to create with. Earlier, as I was talking with somebody, they I can't remember if this is the one that they found that that meant something to them, but I choose peace over fear and calm over chaos. I am grounded in God's love, and his strength empowers me to maintain control of what I can. I trust that each day I am growing stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with his peace. All right. I don't know if that's exactly the one that she found, but I love this one too. I love them all. I am not alone in the many things I manage. With God's help, I am equipped to handle all my responsibilities one step at a time. I trust in his timing and know that he will provide that wisdom, strength, and peace I need to navigate this season with joy and purpose. So, your goal for today, one is to go through those. Let me get back here too. There we go. Your goal for today is to go through those questions, do a little journaling, find a little area if you're not aware of, and then start cruising through the creative reminders to find yourself a thought. And we're going to talk more about that tomorrow as we go into the next step. All right, I've got for you also, before I close down, I have for you in the video, I'll be putting this, obviously this replay you found in that particular video there, the video room. Now, the other things that you see in here, besides you'll find the class replays, is a few classes and demos that I did for my members in that, my Art Sister members. And I wanted to share just a few of them. There's, some are short, some are fast clippings and stuff, but just to spark, the purpose of it is to spark an idea in your mind of what you could be putting creatively into your art journal. And on the Friday, I'll actually take you through a class and we'll be creating this one right here. This one has, to me, I thought was quite a good symbolic meaning to it because of the process. This is negative painting and the process of taking something that's full of lots of things inside and then being able to, paint away basically is what's happening here, but clear away all of the confusion and all that so that you actually can focus in on something and be able to see something beautiful. So I'll be running you through that class Friday, and that's what we'll do Friday. Tomorrow on Thursday, I'm going to go back through the creative reminders with you. I hope you can show up. I want to share. I would love for you to share. If you can't, please post them in the community center under the tab, where it has for you to put the chats and that. Post them in there so we can read and see what you've found. There is no wrong way, no wrong choosing of a creative reminder. They're each very individual and it serves a purpose for you personally. So there's no wrong answer is what I was trying to say as far as that goes. I'll also, going back to those videos, today I've posted in there an extra video. And the thought I had was about taking something that you've never used before, which is basically what you're doing here. Some of these things you've done before, you've journaled, you've done, different stuff. It's not new. Okay. But this format and doing it, as I'm telling you to walk through to do it may be new for you. And so it's taking new things and being able to utilize them and try them out. And so this particular video that I'm going to share with you is a class that I showed them. And it's done very quickly. I didn't sit there. It wasn't a class I taught them, but I wanted them to see. It was my own personal creative moment. And I did a large piece of artwork and I used tissue paper. Yes, tissue paper. I had never done it before, but this is painted tissue paper here. I wanted to try it and I had the best time doing it. I loved it. Let me see. Do I have my other examples? Give me a second. I'm going to show you really quick some of the other examples that go with it. Hold on. All right. Thank you. Here's an example. This is tissue paper and acrylic pencil. And it's my little abstract of a mountain meadow. And fun to use, the whole thing. Tissue paper. Loved it. Fun experiment. This was actually one of the projects that I did with my art sisters. And it's in their library. We did this. Can you see that? All right. I walked them through. This is tissue paper, acrylic paint, collaging. So much fun and easy to do. Very relaxing. So that's why I posted that one, just to give you the idea. And it doesn't have to be tissue paper, but find something new that you've not used before and try it. Encourage yourself to stretch out a little bit and do something that's different. All right. Thank you so much for listening and being a part of this. I am grateful that you are here. I appreciate you. And I will see you again tomorrow as we go on to our next class and talk more about the creative reminders. Bye, y'all.